Hello, what's up, Clockwatch? What's up, Facebook, YouTube? What's going on? Thank you for being here and watching with us. I appreciate it. Do you guys hear any feedback? I hear some feedback. Are you good out there? We're good? All right. Anyway, um, you got Chrissy here. Thank you, like I said, for joining. All female podcast here, all female panel. Making sure that we come to you correct. Listen, I've been pumping out the posts with our podcast, with our YouTube link. Make sure that you go in and that you like, subscribe, tell your friends to tell their friends so that we can all be friends and have fun in this podcast and keep it going. So, with that said, again, thank you so much. I'm going to send it over to Lady E.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Lady E. I just want to thank everybody on the panel tonight for being here so we can have an amazing show tonight. And I want to thank all of our viewers out there, everybody on their group page. Thanks for your support and sending out those invites to your friends to grow our group even bigger because I love meeting new people. I love sharing thoughts, ideas, and I like learning and growing. And I feel like this group page that we have in our podcast is a great way to, expand our minds and learn new people. And I think everybody on this group page and our podcast can learn so much from everybody. And that excites me and that amazes me. So I just appreciate everybody's feedback on all of this and all of your guys' support. So I appreciate you guys. So I'm gonna go to Miss Spitter.
I'm back. Really excited to be here. I had a great time last week. I'm looking forward to the topics tonight and the comments. So let us know what you think. And like, subscribe, do all the things the ladies up there said. Share with your friends. Have a good time. Montana?
Hi, guys. Montana again. Appreciate you guys having me. And like Lady E said, I love this group because we can all have different opinions and not argue about them. We can actually have different perspectives. And I love that. Even though we don't agree on almost everything, we rarely actually all agree on one topic. But I love that because we're not arguing and we're just having a conversation and opening up our minds. And anyone who's watching, subscribe, share it with your friends. So like if the word gets out, it's possible to have conversations and not argue, which is what I'm seeing a lot on Facebook and every other place. So it's possible. And we're trying to make that more possible.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
All right. Well, really quick, we already have our first comment. So, Mr. Allen Amy, hello. He says, hi, Jackie, Lady E, Chrissy, and Montana. Have a great show, ladies. Is it bedtime? No, you got to stay up and watch us. All right. Well, thank you so much for still popping in. We appreciate that. Okay. So I guess we'll go right into our first topic. And you know what? I'm going to let you guys decide who wants to take this first. I think we should go with Lady E, though. Kind of high idea.
Okay. Do women still want a man who is chivalrous? Or has feminism ruined it for men? So, I guess I can only speak for myself on this, but I am actually, so I am a feminist, yes, but I'm also very old-fashioned when it comes to dating, and I like somebody to open the door for me, pay for dinner, or, do the little things that are like very gentleman-like that men do. I think it shows respect, and I think it shows that, that they're thinking about my feelings and putting me first, or, you know, helping me out and trying to make me smile and all that stuff. So I think that's very, very sweet of men to do. Hello, Cornell. And um, there are probably some things that men do, that women are probably like, I got this, like I can do this myself or whatever. Um, I guess it all just depends on the woman. But I think a lot of women don't want to seem weak in front of a man. So they don't want them to, do those things for them. Like they don't want the man to be the man, or they don't want to seem weak in front of the man because they think that they're going to be taken advantage of. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I think if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, I think that the man should be a man. Like let the man be the man and you be the woman. Whether that means, letting him open the door for you, or um, choosing the side of the bed that's closest to the door, or whatever it may be. I think just the man needs to feel a man in a relationship, and a woman needs to take her role on as a woman. So that's my opinion.
Well, Marissa says chivalry is dead. My husband is my husband because he was raised properly. Hey, cuz. So,
So wait,
so
not like chivalry, like
So I think Marissa, let us know if I'm getting this right. But I think kind of what she means is that it's dead. Like, she wasn't looking kind of for those things. Her husband's a good man, but she's not looking for the door to be opened or the sheet to be pulled out or to walk on the inside of a man. But he's a good man. So even absent of those things, he's still a good man.
okay.
So let me know if I was right or wrong on that. But I have a little long-winded comment, explanation on this, but so I'll let
No.
somebody else take it. Who wants? Yeah, no, not me. I don't have the big mouth. So Jackie,
Oh,
I mean Miss Spitter, you want to take this?
yeah. Um, I think feminism is not about like you can't do anything for me ever. I think it's like don't be disrespectful, don't think women are less than, that kind of thing. So chivalry's still fine, great. I like um I like the door being opened. I like the car door being open before I get out. Feel like a princess. Um, I think like as far as treating, if you're dating somebody for a while, it should kind of go back and forth a little bit. When TJ and I we when we were dating, a lot of times I would pay for dinner and he would pay for drinks. And then I would just have to like make my money back in drinks. So there has to be some give and take. It's nice to be nice to somebody that you're dating. It's not like chauvinist. Um, and even now, like if we're just jumping in the car, whatever, but if I'm getting dressed up, we're going to a nice event or wedding or something, like hold the door, I'll get your drink, you pull out my chair. Like there's a little back and forth of just trying to enjoy ourselves and be nice to each other. So I don't think it's dead.
What woman doesn't? Is what I'm being told. We have another comment. Um, some of these men got to stop acting so sensitive and appreciate a strong woman. Team effort. Absolutely. Yes, Facebook user. But I would love to know who you are. So, what I need you to do is above the podcast, there is a link so that you can accept the terms of StreamYard so that we could see who you are and show your name. So, if you can type in who it was that just made this comment, let's know who you are. I completely, absolutely agree with you. So before we go to Montana, I'm gonna take this because on the strength of that comment right there, right? I am a strong, independent woman, if y'all can't tell, right? But I've actually been told a lot lately that I'm very aggressive. And I don't feel that I'm aggressive. I feel that I'm very assertive. I know what I want and I'm going to ask for it. And therefore, by asking for it doesn't make me aggressive. It just makes me knowledgeable on my needs and desires. And I think in the tone and the affect of your voice is what actually makes the difference. And I don't think I'm rude or disrespectful about it. I just feel like I know what I want. I know what it is. I know what the answer is. And that should be that. Um, I do think chivalry is dead. I don't think that we see a lot of these young men being raised to court women and do all those, walk on the inside of the man, open up the car door, pull out the seat, make sure they get home safe, not just leave them at the door, but actually make sure they get inside the door or walk them to the door after a date.
People leave you at the door?
Some
That's a
guys,
thing?
yeah, they drop you
girl,
off. They
they
drop you
just
off and they're
drop
gone.
you and it's like,
Oh my
whatever.
god.
Yes, and even or the guys that pull up and honk the horn or tell
Yeah.
you I'm here and wait for
I
you
would
to
not
come
go
out
out
the
to that.
house and
Or
not come to the
they'll,
door properly and knock on the door and stuff
or
like
they'll
that.
send a text, I'm here. And then you're
Yeah,
supposed to come
and then
out.
you come out and then yeah,
You come out.
absolutely. So
Uh-huh.
Jackie, you haven't been in the dating world for quite a while, 15 years if I believe.
I don't
It
know.
has changed.
Do this
It's a whole nother beast. Would I like it? Would I appreciate it? Absolutely. I would love to be pampered and catered on because you know what? That is then reciprocated, right? I reciprocate what I receive. So if
Right.
you're being sensitive and compassionate to my needs, I'm going to then in turn be sensitive and compassionate to your needs. Now, on the other hand of that, if it doesn't happen, is it a deal breaker? It's not a deal breaker for me because in my mind, I can do what I want to do for myself and don't require anybody else to do it for me. I know how to open up a door by myself. So if you don't want to do it, I'm good with it. It's not a deal breaker, but it would be nice to still have that, being pampered and everything. That's just my take on it. We have Vanessa who says yes. So yes, I think she want. Yes, you would like chivalry, or yes, you think chivalry is dead. Like, let us know what you're talking about. Then we have David. Hey, David, what's up? Anyway, he says yes. I agree on that comment. I'm assuming that you're just gonna agree on everything we say, right? Okay. And finally, they're not. They aren't being raised properly, and they don't give up seats for elderly or pregnant women, but her sons do. And it's all about the raising, right? It's all about the home training. So I'm gonna send it over to you, Montana. What do you think?
I don't think it's dead. I teach my son the same thing. I mean, he opens the door for me. And I love that. I think that's really adorable. And I taught him to say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, all that stuff. So I don't think of course, we want that. Every woman does. Just, but like you said, if he's not going to respect me in a certain way, I'm not going to hold the door for you. I can open my own door. You can open your own door. But if you're going to show me that respect and give me the same kind of respect in return, then I'll give you that respect in return, Simon. I would give you the same exact. I'll mirror what you give to me. Basically.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Just show me that, tell me what your needs are, tell me what you want. We'll compromise on this, and we can both agree to respect each other. Then I don't even know if that's even labeled Can we figure out how to pronounce this word?
Chivalry. Chivalry. Yes. There you go. They got us at the top of the podcast and at the end when we've all been drunk and by this point. So Emma says she raises her son that way, and I know she does for a fact. She has amazing young men.
That's great. So, but I have noticed when I was dating or even when I was married. So I've dated older men, older than me, and I've noticed that they're very chivalrous. And then my ex-husband was 6 years younger than me, and he was not very, he's millennial, and he's like, I mean, I'm a millennial too, but he was like a young
millennial,
different, like a younger millennial. But
First kind is the younger
He
one.
was like, oh, women can do everything that men can do and all this. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, we can do everything that you can do. But
Or I would like for you to take the trash out.
it's nice to have like support or a man do like come over and be like, I know you worked really hard today. I know, if I was off work and I have to come home and cook dinner and do the dishes and take out the trash and all this stuff because you think that's like the woman's job, but like, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like if you worked all day, yeah, I would do all that stuff at home. But if it was the other way around, it's like, like there has to be a balance in that. Yeah.
And I think that kind of leads us perfectly into our next topic. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So, is there such thing as gender roles, meaning the woman stays home, cooks and cleans, and gets pregnant, and the man goes out and works and provides for the family? So, is there such thing as that? I know in the 50s there was, but here we are in 2020. Does that still exist? And in that same tone, do we raise our girls different from our boys in the sense of do we give our boys double standards to the girls, so we allow them a lot more freedom than we do the girls because the girl's the one who comes home with the baby and not the boy? And I'm not going to give my opinion on that yet. I just made that statement, so don't judge me yet. Okay. But I'm actually going to send it to Jackie first.
I think sometimes gender roles exist. Probably not as the rule anymore like they did 50 years ago, but generally like people split up, the mom has the kids, or I don't know, cooking seems to be like a real guy thing anymore. I know like a lot of guys that cook seriously. My husband won't touch laundry, but we just traded it out for something else. So with my kids, I do have one boy and one girl. They're just really, really different kids. So there's times that like the rules don't match up, but I don't know that it's gender based. Except for I get more freaked out when my daughter's out like walking around in the dark or something like that. Sometimes I feel like my son's safe to do things that my daughter's not. And I try to notice it and like work on it, but it's true. She kind of is in more danger. I don't know. But it's 2020. I don't think anybody's really like, no, you get back in the kitchen. Like,
well, Eva says men are the best chefs. Listen, I'm gonna need your husband to cook for me then, all right? So
I'm a chef. Hello, that's very offensive to me. No, just kidding.
Sorry.
No, but I think some men are just better chefs. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know, just because they enjoy food more. Is it because they enjoy food more? And we're always like, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. But who wants to take this next? Well, let's read this. You want to go ahead and read this, Lady E?
Yeah. Stephanie says, if my man and I ever changed our minds and had kids, he would love to stay home while I go to work. LOL. I bet.
It's not a bad gig.
But it's not an easy job either. So
no,
it's not. It's definitely not.
No.
Gender rules are a thing, like a thing, because just like Mrs. Splitter said, it's like I worry about Eva walking home from the pool, which is right here, but not my son, because, in that sense.
Because he's a boy?
Yeah, and even though he's probably more likely to have some sort of incident, I'm like, no, you're not walking back. You're not going to walk anywhere. I have to watch her. I stop her until she gets on the bus. The bus is closed, and the bus is driving away. When it's my son and she's homesick, it's like, yeah, he'll be all right. Take care. As they get older, though, I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the situation. Depends on their personalities, what they need to be in touch with who they are as people. When he was going through all of his, what do you call that? Help me out, Chrissy. What is that called? Occupational therapy.
Okay.
So his therapist was like, he should be able to, like it's natural instincts for him to hold a baby, but a lot of men don't like dolls with boys. And
Oh yeah.
but I mean, you're teaching your kids something that's a basic instinct, so you kind of have to do that. That's not a big deal, but it makes the people society makes it a big deal. It's not a big deal if boys want to play with dolls, like.
And you're so right. I actually did buy my son a kitchen and a doll and a stroller.
Me too.
I absolutely did because men become daddies.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody thinks that if you buy your son all this like girly stuff that they're gonna become gay later on in life, and which is like a total bogus
Fallacy. It's a
conception.
fallacy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
yeah,
It's not
definitely not how that works.
No. Because I have an older daughter and a younger son. So my younger son was always playing with my daughter's Barbies and toys and playing dress up and all this stuff, like wearing my heels. And like I was just like, yeah, go for it. Do your walk in that dress up clothes and your heels and all that stuff. Like I was like, work it, work it.
I know that I would have got down like that, but
Hey, I mean, you never know. I don't want to like step on their creativity or what they want to do and they see other people doing. Who knows? Maybe he wants to be a fashion designer when he grows up or whatever. You never know.
I hear what you're saying.
So
So my take on it is, so I think I'm the oldest on this panel. I think I really am the oldest on this panel, but I still look good. So I'm gonna get ahead. But so I feel like when I was growing up back in the 70s, yes, the 70s,
You said it.
I said it. I feel like there were still gender roles in place at that point. There wasn't a lot of freedom to be an individual and just accept whatever. Like I remember my dad being very machismo and masculine, and like he had my brothers in the strip clubs at 15 years old, and like yes, it's your the whole manhood, like all of that, and I'm going to bring you into manhood, but God forbid I even liked a boy, it was a problem. So as far as me coming up, there was definitely a difference in being raised as far as me being the girl and my brothers being the boys. It was a huge difference. We did not get away with a lot of things, me and my sisters. Well, I did because nobody knew what I was doing, but
You probably did that. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, but that was a sneak. It wasn't in your face kind of thing.
Right.
And then with my children, so I have one girl and two boys, and I guess being that I was coming from such a strict household like that, I decided that all my kids were going to be raised the same way. Not the same way as far as, because everyone's an individual, so you have to you have to cater to them based on their personalities, and I get that. But as far as, I taught my boys that just because the girl gets pregnant doesn't mean that you don't bring home the baby. You still bring that baby home, because there's no way that I'm going to let you walk out of a child's life. Like that, if you're daddy to this baby, like you're going to be daddy to this baby, even if I got to put my foot in your mouth. All right. And make you do it. That's something that you were going to do. So that was across the board. Just as easy as a girl can get pregnant is just as easy as my son can get somebody else's daughter pregnant. And I had that same expectation across the board. My boys were taught how to do laundry, just like my daughter was. My boys were taught how to cook, just like my daughter was. My daughter was taught how to do an oil change and a tune up, just like my boys were. So it went across the board. It was not, there was no difference. It was unisex, and that's how it went, and that's how I raised them in my household. Bottom line. Listen, I need you guys to comment and chime in so that we can have this open dialogue. So I need you to start popping up in the comments. Let us know what you feel about it. Do you believe in gender roles? Do you think they exist? Do you think they still should exist? And do you think that we raise them, our boys and girls differently? Listen, we had some feedback in our poll when we took it. So I'm hoping that everyone who voted on that poll is in here watching right now and can come back at us and let us know what you think about it, because this is how this podcast works. It's interactive. Us ladies are not like the guys. We like the feedback. We like to interact. It's give
Yeah.
and take, okay? We're all about giving and taking. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll get to this comment real quick. Hold on, sorry. I'll go back to hello, pretty ladies, Mr. Facebook user or Miss Facebook user. Please accept the terms of StreamYard so that we can see who you are, or let us know who you are.
Yeah.
Hi, Mickey, you're back again. Thank you so much for coming back. He said, I mean, you guys are making sense. I don't know what else to say. You could just be our opposition just for the sake of it so we could have dialogue. But it's okay. What's up, ladies? Again, I want to know who you are. Tell us who you are, okay? So, Mickey says again, Montana mentioned how kids have varying personalities regardless of gender, and you just have to operate accordingly. Absolutely. I agree with you.
But I agree that I make my son do laundry too, and he helps me cook. He loves cooking. We made homemade pasta tonight. I don't know if you guys saw my post. Like, we made pasta. He helped me more than she did. So
See?
I don't
So,
think that's a gender thing. I think that's just I don't know, like that was just a bonding thing that he wanted to do with me, and it doesn't have to be a gender thing.
so I think what it is too is that how we put that out to our children, right? How we show them, because they're only going to know there's a separation of gender if we show them that. If
Right.
Right.
that's
Yeah.
in the household, then they're going to recognize that. But if you're treating each child, the same individually, but yet the same as far as the things that need to be done and not separating them by gender, they're not going to acknowledge that there's a difference because he's a boy and she's a girl. Like, you know what I mean? They're not going to acknowledge that. But if you are doing things that separate them by gender, then you're going to acknowledge that. So I think that's why in your household, it's not a big deal because it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not a big
So,
deal. Yeah.
Aaron, I want to say thank you so much for commenting on the poll today and giving your feedback. I appreciated all the content that you posted to there. I did go read it. It was a very interesting read, so thank you for that. And I appreciate you loving my comments. I definitely loved yours. Then we have they totally excite. Don't think
Exist.
this is Paul.
I
I know
think
this
you.
one
I
personally.
think you might exist.
Oh, they totally exist. Look, PJ, I'm gonna need you to get it together. Look, don't think there should be, but that's how society has made it. So I'm sorry. I know I'm like just taking over. Y'all guys can tell me to shut up. But I know PJ personally, and I actually know what kind of household he grew up in. I know exactly what household he grew up, and in his household, that's exactly how it was. There were gender roles, period. PJ, if you don't mind, I'll give a little feedback. You can, like I said earlier, that you guys didn't hear. I rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Mhm.
Um, PJ is Albanian, and I grew up around a lot of Albanians, and they still did arranged marriages. Even when I was coming up, I know some of his aunts that had arranged marriages. So, so for his household, there was definitely those gender separation completely, and they were huge. There was a lot of them. There's still a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be that, lady?
Yeah, Stephanie says, I know both myself and my brother were raised differently. I don't think he has ever washed a dish in his life.
Wow.
Yeah. Same with my brother.
Yep.
Really? Whoa.
I mean, yeah, when I was growing up, I had to do all the chores of the whole house, had to do everybody's laundry in the whole family. My brother, he would clean the bathroom every now and then, but it was mainly just me doing everything. And I was always held accountable for not doing everything, when I was supposed to do it. And it was like, oh yeah, like he can just do whatever. But it's like, the woman's role. Like I was in the kitchen cooking since I was 11, making food for the whole family, doing the dishes, laundry, cleaning, like yard work, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I,
So I think it's also cultural. So George grew up with me and PJ, so we all know each other. So he's saying they still do FYI. I guess have the gender roles and the arranged marriages is what he's talking about.
yeah,
So I think also, and I mean Montana, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I know the Hispanic culture. We wait
Why would I
on our
correct
men. Well, you're
you?
Italian. No,
Okay.
Italian. So we're meaning culturally. No, I know you're Italian.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
Italian and Hispanic culture is not that far. We're not that far apart at
No, I
all.
just.
Even
I
our
got you.
language isn't that far apart.
I got you.
Um,
No.
yeah, I think culturally the Hispanics wait on like the Italians wait on their men hand and
Hand and
foot,
foot.
like right. We
Hand and
make
foot.
the plate, we make the plate of food, we cook, we do all of that, and it's just a cultural thing. But I think generationally it's changing, right? There's still some in there, but I think generationally we're changing a bit. So you want to be that lady?
yes. Eva Marie says, in my household, we have the cultural differences that make it difficult at times with raising my boys to take on certain responsibilities, but I push back. Okay. You push back,
Yeah. So even a
meaning
friend
she
of
doesn't
mine.
like,
Like
uh,
no, like she so and Eva, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, she's another one of friends for years since high school. I got all my people up here. What's up? So um so her husband is Guyanese and she's Puerto Rican.
okay.
So culturally it's the same thing. Like the men get waited on hand and foot. And she's got four boys, no girls. She got four boys, no girls. And with the boys, with her being the only woman in the house, like all that stuff would fall on her. So push back, meaning, if correct me if I'm wrong, Eva, push back in the sense that no, you're gonna do the laundry, no, you're gonna mop and sweep, no, you're gonna do the dishes. Like she pushes back. She doesn't allow that to have the division in the household with
So
the
she's
gender.
trying to change the whole cultural thing and trying to teach her boys more than what the past has taught. That's good.
But
I
can I just say real quick though? I didn't mean it like. So every day that I've been going to the pool, I've gotten so dark, and everyone's like, "Oh, Latina," and I'm like, "Well, no, I'm Italian." So I just funny that you just said that because I was just called that a little bit ago. I'm like, "No, I'm not Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm not."
Yeah, we're not that. You're not that far from Spain. We're not that.
Same exact mentality, right? It's the same
Yeah.
how we were raised. It's just the wife cooks and she's in the kitchen and she makes 3 meals a day and she does everything and stays home with the kids. So that's just kind of like how
Yeah.
they both of them are.
and in different cultures, it's very different because um, I was married to a Puerto Rican man. So in his family, they were very old fashioned, and it's like, the woman is the one always cooking, and then the man is like, oh, all I have to do is go to work,
Right.
you know, and like that's it. And I was like, and I saw that, I was like, really? Like that's how you guys do things, and you guys are okay with that? Like you're fine? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
right. You guys are serious? Like this is what you're doing?
So I
like,
think that's why it's important in the beginning of your relationship to kind of define who you are, and if you decide to get married, define what that is for you guys, right? Because you don't want to end up in the marriage and then decide and then find out, oh, he thought he was marrying me, and once he married me, like I wasn't gonna be who I was.
right,
Like when did I
exactly,
change? Like I didn't change,
right.
never change. So our next comment is gonna take all our faces up. I haven't even read it. I don't even know what it is, but it's PJ again. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. I'll read it. All right.
Oh, jeez.
But thank you. This is what we want.
Yeah,
We love it. We love it. So
thank
PJ says Marissa Weaver is called respect. What none of these little regrets have. I think he meant rugrats have
Yeah.
nowadays. It's like kids with no respect having kids they don't know any better. I have four boys under the age of 7. He has 2 sets of twin boys.
Wow.
Okay? Yes. But I teach them to offer and help anyone who is older or looks like they need help. Teach them to not lie, make an educated decision on everything so that they don't have to lie. How to be a gentleman, which is a lost art nowadays. And I don't know. I'm going to sleep. Just thought I'd chime in. Thank you,
Thank
PJ.
thank you, Paul.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Facebook user, I want to know who you are so we can shout you out. Um, Same in my house. My mom had 5 boys, but we all had chores, so our mom didn't have to do it all. That's what we're talking about. Just so the way I say it in my house, right, is if I'm gonna pay all the bills, because I'm a single mom, so if I'm gonna pay all the bills for the house that you're living in, you're gonna take care of the things that need to be done in the house, and
You
that's
can do
gonna
one.
teach you, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, you do
You
your part. I
can, yes,
Right.
exactly.
like, and then when I joke with them, I'm like, you didn't know I had you just so you could be my slave? Like,
Yeah.
that's why I had you. But it's a joke. They get their fair share of what they need, right?
Right.
Another comment, Lady E, you can grab this.
Aaron says, awesome Ron. I had none, and my brothers and sister just ran free. No chores, no culture, but very considerate.
How
Wow.
do you guys do that? I
Really?
can't even see that.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, with my daughter and my son. So my daughter is 13, my son is 7. Um, I I I guess I don't try to do like the whole gender role, but since she's older, I hold her more accountable for things. And I expect more from her just because she is older. And maybe if it was the other way around, I would hold him more accountable. But I expect them both to, do what they're supposed to do while I'm not in the house. Or, I'm a single mom just like Chrissy. So I work all day. I'm always out of the house. So the only thing I ask from my kids is to clean up after themselves. That's it. I mean, that's all. Like I will do everything else in the house, unless I'm there and I ask you to do something other than clean up after yourself. But it's typically just
Too much to ask.
right. I don't ask for much. Like I like cleaning. I actually like cleaning. I like taking care of my own house and doing my own stuff. So, but I mean, I when they go outside to play, or I don't let my son play outside by himself, or I don't let him do certain things just because like there's a lot of like human trafficking, and
That's what I didn't want to say
a lot
out
of
loud.
people in Florida, especially, they'll take a kid like that. So I make sure that like they're safe, and if he's gonna go outside to play, I'm out there with him, watching him. I'm not one of those helicopter parents, I like letting them be free and wild, but also like very protective of them. So I make sure that they're very safe. But
So
yeah.
Mickey says, my family's Ethiopian. My dad's always gone in when it
Mhm.
comes to cleaning and chores. He's in his 60s and he's still at it. Um, you want
That's
to take this one?
Yes, Facebook user. We want to know who you are, so accept StreamYard, go up to the top. But he or she says, not in mine. If you didn't do your chores, you didn't go out.
Mm.
Very true. And Aaron says, we never came home. LOL.
This one, you could grab this one too.
Only culture in my house was Culture Club. LOL.
We would like to laugh with you, Facebook user, but we don't know who you are. So accept
Yes,
the terms to StreamYard.
yes.
I think it's funny how awful it is to have to read out loud, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I couldn't do it.
LOL.
Do it now.
So Mickey says, never seen anyone on point with taking care of shit around the house.
What do you mean he's never seen anyone on point?
I don't know. I run a tight ship.
I do too.
I like things a certain way, and I got on my kids so much about this. Now they know, like, they know what time to come home. They know what to do. They're like, I better have this house clean before mom gets home, or there's gonna be shit. I don't want to hear her mouth. Like,
You didn't fold that towel the way I taught you to fold a towel.
right?
So start over.
Do it again. Oh, I was horrible. If my kids' handwriting was horrible with their homework, I would rip it out and make them write it again.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you they have impeccable handwriting now. You can read what they gotta write. Yeah.
That's great.
So I think this is a good segue into our next discussion. But with this topic, we actually have a guest on our podcast this evening. Um, I'll let you see who this person is. I'm just going to keep it like that. I do want to let you know that this person I've known since junior high school, and is a small business owner and does custom apparel. And, I get stuff from him. I've gotten stuff from him. His work is amazing. We will go ahead and post his Instagram page onto our Facebook Clockwatch group. But I am ready to introduce
Wait,
Jovan.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
How you
welcome.
going?
but we are having a man on
Yes.
Old Woman's podcast tonight. Yes, okay, so we are an Old Woman's podcast, yes, and we talk about a lot of stuff, but we also love guests, and we do accept men, women, or whatever to come on to our show. So I really appreciate you coming out and.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the crew here?
My name is Jovan. Nice to meet you. I'm a little intimidated. There's a lot of women.
You intimidated. You should be like feeling all good about now.
I'm a little nervous. My son,
Group. None of these women are assholes like I am.
Yeah.
my son is staring at me, making me more nervous. My son is staring at me with the argue eyes. Got me more nervous.
Now, tell us about yourself. Come on, let us know who you are.
My name is Jovan. I'm a single parent. I got 3 kids. My son is 15, my daughter's 13, and my youngest is 10. Newly separated, been married 15 years. And like she said, I work for Con Edison in the Bronx, but I'm furloughed because of the COVID. And I'm a small business owner. But thank God, one door closes, another one opens. And I'm a Christian man. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right.
That's awesome.
So I'll tell you why I brought Big Baby New York in here. All right. I
staring at me.
I just ignore him like he's not even there. Come on. So the reason why I brought Jovan on tonight was I actually called him up because I needed some work done, some custom apparel done. And while we were talking, he was like, "What's up with this podcast that you're on?" And I started talking to him about it, and then I told him about the topic about discipline tonight, and he just went on this whole rant about discipline. So I was like, and I just sat and listened because it made complete sense to me. So I was like, what are you doing tonight? Like, we'll have you be the first XY chromosome on this double X show. All right? So we figured you would bring you on. So being that you are our guest tonight, we're going to have you go first with our topic,
Okay.
which is discipline, to spank or not to spank.
All right. I used to be a firm believer in spanking, and then I started realizing that it depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on the child. Let's say you have an autistic child, like we spoke about earlier. I don't believe you should spank an autistic child because I think they really understand. I think that at certain levels and certain situations, it requires more of talking. And I believe that if you have that relationship with your child, a stern talking can be just as much as spanking. It all depends on the way you say it, the way you speak it, and the way you come across them. That's just my opinion. But I used to be a firm believer in spanking, but nah, not no more. You know, like a 15-year-old kid, you just can't spank a 15-year-old kid. That's too big. It's like putting a big mama dog on your lap or something. You know what I'm saying? But with my son these days, you know, I tend to sit down and have a real conversation with him, and he's more receptive to me speaking to him than me threatening his life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it depends on the child, the situation, and especially where their mind is. Because some kids you gotta get in there. Some kids you gotta put your whole foot up to your knee in that ass. Certain kids, I believe it. But it all depends, like I said, on the child, the circumstance, and because you're just not gonna hit any child. Like my little one, she's 10. I can't seem to raise my hand to her. She's the sweetest little thing in the world. And even when she's bad, sometimes look at her like, like I don't, I can't even see myself do it.
Yeah.
So I sit down and talk, and she's all right, Daddy, I got it, I understand, and I don't need to. You know, when before I found God, I used to rule with this iron fist. You know, Puerto Rican men, we got this machismo. We feel that when we say what we say, our voice is dominant. Blah. And being separated, and I took 2 years, to find myself as a man, as a Christian, as a father, and I started to realize that that machismo that was kind of full of bullshit. It was bogus. That machismo that they have is bullshit. You can men that feel you gotta be so overly aggressive. That's just it's bogus the way I look at it now. So I feel like when I was being super aggressive with my son, but it had more heads than we do now. Because now I don't even have to raise my voice to him. I said, listen, this is what we're gonna do. This is how you're gonna do it. If you disagree, tell me if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll sit down and I listen to you. And most of the time she'd be like, you know what, Dad, my bad, I'm wrong. And you know what, you're right, I got you. I'll stop. I'm sorry. But before, when I was trying to tear him up, he was like fighting, trying to defend his position.
That's right, because he's still a male as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so you turn around and he wants to have that
Mm-hmm.
that it's that machismo versus machismo because he saw dad be machismo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then how do I not be like dad? How do I not? Because that was the one of the things that you said to me this afternoon
Mm-hmm.
was we are an example to our children. We are a mirror, right?
Well, think
So
about this. As a man, right? The Bible says we are to minister and we're our homes, right? So a lot of times men tend to think by ministering, they want to minister with aggression. That's not what it is. Being a minister is leading by example. If you want your wife to lead, you want your wife to follow, then you must lead properly. But it goes for
mm-hmm,
you. Well, if you want your kids to follow you, if I tell my son throw out the garbage, he ain't never seen me throw out the garbage not one day in my life. He's gonna be like, so why do I need to throw it out? Remember, they're
Right.
sponges. They're absorbing everything from us.
yep, yep.
In my marriage, I didn't lift a finger. My wife was the most obedient woman in the world. I didn't do nothing. That's the reason why I'm single. Just be
You
honest.
hear this? He said obedient. Like, bye, Jovan. Now it's time for you to go.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Now you definitely off.
You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. She kind of like, she played the wife role, right? But I didn't have to lift a finger. And then as I became, as I had these 2 years to, fix myself, I realized that that was wrong with me. In the process of doing that, when you talk about men, I learned how to cook on my own in the last 2 years. I heard
Yeah,
one
if you look at his IG, that's all he has is food up there and everything. But we're gonna get to this comment real quick. It's gonna cover y'all faces again. It says we are in much different times than what we grew up in. Back in the day, if I told you to clean your room and you didn't, you caught an ass whooping. I raise my girls and explain whatever they need some clarity on. If they do something that's ethically or morally incorrect, I try to explain them their wrongs and why. So I'm gonna send it over to Jackie and I'm gonna ask you what you think about this.
I think there is a time and a place for spankings, and it's when you can't reason with them yet, and they're doing something dangerous or they're hurting another kid. My daughter was a biter when she was a toddler. She likes to stick her finger in everything, and I can't say, listen, that's an electrical socket. You're gonna get shocked. You might not live. Like, I'm just gonna smack her hand and she'll get it. But as they got older, it definitely phased out because you can just talk to them. And I don't like the way that discipline was violence in my house when I grew up. I know what kind of issues it gave me. I don't want to do that. So I think, overdoing it, there's a huge danger in overdoing it. And it doesn't mean anything. Like I said in the comments on the poll, if you really want to drive your point home, where are you going to go if you've been hitting them every day?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they might need but it better be worth it,
Mickey, yo, thank you for that. He said, I don't know about all this, but getting sent to Kumar hurts more. Now,
What
I'm
is
thinking
Kumon?
correct me if I'm wrong, is Kumar that tutoring place that you go to after school and you sit there for hours, like Sullivan? Like that Sullivan camp thing? Like, let me know if that's what you're talking about.
I have never heard of that before.
So, Aaron, as an atheist, man, yeah, that sounds ridiculous. My children were taught that the biggest punishment is disappointing their parents. Fists are for defense only and use them well. So we're just gonna roll through the comments. Fun kid, let what? Fun kid, let them feel the pain. I don't know.
Feel
Lady E, you got this one.
George says again, we are in
Right.
way different times. Yes, I agree.
And we got another one.
Aaron says my father golden gloves and never hit me, taught me to fight.
Okay. And I think it does go back to I think culture has a lot to do in every oh hold on, I saw this.
Fuck
That's,
it. Thank
that's
you for it.
I'm sorry, I just had to go to that because it came up. And yeah, it's a tutoring place and it never
No.
I'm glad I knew what you were talking about, and thank you for making me laugh on that one. So here's my thing. I have three kids, right? So I have 26, 19, and 13, right? So Jovan, I'm just gonna mute you only because I got some feedback from you. Just real quick, all right? Right? Is it him? Hello? No, it's not him. No, I don't have feedback from you. I don't know who I'm hearing feedback from. Does anybody else hear it?
I don't
Nobody
hear
else hears it?
anything.
Okay. All right. So in any case, I have 26, 19, and 13. My 26-year-old, I've only ever had to whoop her ass once. We're gonna skip the 19-year-old for a second here. The 13-year-old, I've never laid a finger on him ever. Never had to. He's one of those kids that I just have a conversation and he got me and he understood it and he received it and he immediately corrected himself. There's no need to have a second conversation with him. Um my middle one, bro, y'all can't see it, but the grays are here. The grays are in here. That second one, I don't know if it's middle child syndrome or what, but I've done everything under the sun in regards to disciplining him. I've done the talking to, I did the spanking, I did the sending him to a reform school. I did all of that. And at the end of the day, none of it worked. But you know what I gotta say? I sat back and I thought about it, right? Because I wasn't a good kid. I wasn't. My mom used to whoop me, and I would say to her, "Are you done?" And she
Mhm.
would ask why, and I would say, "Because pain is temporary, and when you're done, it's done."
Mhm.
And she would be like, "Go to your room. I just can't do this with you. Go to your room." And I sat back and I thought about it and I said to myself, would I have done something what was it that somebody could have said to me that would have made me change my rebellious ways? And I thought about it, absolutely nothing. I was going to do what I was going to do regardless of what anybody
Yeah.
told me or no matter what they were going to say to me or how many times they were going to whoop me and punch me. It really didn't matter, right? So when I sat back and thought about my son, I figured it's the same thing. He's going to have to go through the lessons of life and let life kick his ass. Let
Mm-hmm.
life kick his ass and show him right from wrong if he doesn't want to take heed from mama's knowledge or daddy's knowledge. So I feel like for certain situations, spankings are okay, but I lean more towards having that conversation because they're human beings just like us. And
Mm-hmm.
we would want to be respected and we would want to be talked to and we would want to be heard, right? Because just like rioting is the voice of unheard, what do you think rebellion is?
Yeah.
Right. That's very true.
Rebellion is exactly the same thing.
It
So
goes
we
back
just
to the old. I'm sorry. It
go
goes
ahead.
back to the old thing. Would you rather be respected or feared? And a
Right.
lot
Right.
of kids rather, you know. I wonder though for women, would you rather your child to fear you or respect you? Because not for nothing, I was scared of my mother. Like my mother, I'm still a little bit scared of my mother at 42. Like there's certain things I say to my mother, and my mother's kind of she really can't move the way she used to. But I say something, and I see her moving. I still kind of like. So yeah, for women, see, for me, I'd rather be respected for my child than feared because
Right.
the walkings work. When you sit down, you speak to them, they respect you enough to listen to you. All right, pop, what you got to say? But when they're afraid of you, they're already on the defense because they're
Yep.
scared, so they're ready. You
Yep.
know. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's
No,
just
it's
what you
okay.
said.
So we're gonna. That's what this is here. It's all for about a dialogue. We're gonna get to the rest of the comments because they're just piling up right now. So let's get to them, and then Montana can take it. So let's, Lady E, you got these comments.
Facebook user, you have to go up to the top, accept StreamYard, and we can see your face and know your name. Uh, he or she says, "My dad hit me all the time, and I swore when I had kids, I wouldn't do it to them because I knew what it did to me, and I was afraid to have kids for that reason." I totally agree with that. Carl says, "It's the way the parents raise their kids too is a big difference too." Okay, yeah. Aaron says, "Cool run," and George says, "And that's what I'm saying. Kids these days are different. Technology, maybe,
I don't know, but
maybe."
we got way more. We got a whole bunch. So just sit back and relax. So, oh wait, no, hold
Aaron,
on. We did that. We did that one already. Hold on.
yeah,
Yep. Well, yes, we definitely.
you definitely weren't. Um, I just used the stern voice. That's all I needed. Thank God. Yep. That's why your ass got kicked every other day.
He's talking about me. And you know that your parents would go ahead and kick my ass too, or tell my mama to kick my ass. Like, that's how that went down in our hood. We ain't played that. How
Um,
old am I? How old do you think I am?
how old are you? You look amazing.
Thank you.
You
I just
do.
made 42 um this past Tuesday that just passed. So
Woo! George says, "Sticks and ass whoopings may break my bones, but that shit ain't never gonna stop me."
I like
thank you for all the comments. So David says growing up back in the day, getting hit was a normal thing. But side effects, a lot of people I know become numb to consequences. You know what? You're right.
Right? It's true. Hmm.
Oh my God. There's so many. We're getting to them, guys. We want you to do this. Don't stop. This is what this show is all about. When spanked, a child feels powerless. I never want my child to be put in a powerless situation and never fear me.
Right. Thank you, Erin.
Yes. You got this, E?
Stephanie says, I respect my mom, but there's definitely some fear there too. My mom never hit me, so I have no idea where the fear comes from. Huh.
Probably that
Interesting.
respect, right? Like it's still that kind of respect
Like,
there. Like they,
like
you
she
know,
fears like not wanting to let her mom down or disappoint
the
her.
disappointment, which I
Right.
think works stronger than the fist, right?
Right. Exactly. You want your mom or your dad to be happy with you, and you try to please them, and I think that takes more toll on a child than an ass whooping.
Hmm.
Chris
Whatever.
did. Ah.
It's me, Ron Johnson. You guys changed my name on here. Jeez. Hi, Ron. So that's who Aaron's talking about. So
Oh.
we're gonna skip this because George stopped talking crap on me. We got don't
Aw.
talk about my best friend. She was great. That's Emma. So then she's talking about me. So Montana, what's your take?
I had to spank my son once, and my daughter watched. And I spanked him because he wouldn't put his pants on. And I said, "Put your pants on." And he said, "No." And I had a broken rib from him earlier because he was aggressive, and I was in pain, and I lost my temper, which I don't agree with. Like you said, like parenting out of anger is never a good thing. But I lost my temper and I spanked him. But again, like a spank to me is like this. My mother used to hit me with a wooden spoon. Way different than what I
It's
did
an
to this kid.
Italian mom thing.
It
The freaking
is
wooden spoon.
wooden spoon
Top of the head.
or a belt from your father. So I went like that to him and it broke him, but it didn't break him enough. So I wasn't going to let down until he put his pants on. And he was nonverbal. So he was very like um, frustrated and he couldn't like get it out. And I felt his pain, but I couldn't back down from that once I started it. So I continued. It went on for like 5 minutes, felt like 5 years. I was crying when it was done. And then once it happened, my daughter watched it. Never again. I've never had to touch my kids again. All I do is look at them and they stand up straight.
That's
They're
it.
like, I mean, it's not, it's fear and respect. It's like a little bit of both. It's like they look at you and they're like, well, I don't want to piss her off. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna act right. But they also respect me because they kiss me constantly. They're hugging me. They're all over me. I mean, it's not like
They
a,
love us no matter what.
yeah, well, yeah, but my mother beat the shit out of me, and I didn't.
Generational.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is generational, and it's a
Very.
culture thing, and like that's not where we are right now. So, I think it's okay in situations, and I did it, and I'll never do it again. Don't tell them I said that. I would never touch them again. I would rather have a conversation with my son and be like, "You need to tell me what's wrong with you," and say it calmly, like a million times before ever saying and getting aggressive with him ever again. So it varies by situation, and by what's going on.
Yep, he's right. So he said they learned from that you don't beat their asses every day if I did something wrong,
You
right?
don't
So
have
it's
to,
not right, right. It's
Right.
absolutely not. So
right?
um we're gonna let Lady E get ahead on this, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna say goodbye to Jovan. Thank you for coming in and checking in.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to check out his IG, right?
Yes.
Big Baby New York for any custom apparel for your sneakerheads out there that like their shirts to match their kicks. That's the
Yes.
guy, all right? He got
Yes.
the whole color scheme. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But
The custom mask too.
yes, the
Oh,
Custom
custom that's
mask.
true. So
Yes.
okay.
say your goodbyes and
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Yes,
Yes.
God
thank
thank
bless
you.
and have a beautiful night. And Chrissy, be safe. I'll talk to you later.
I will, no problem. You let
All
me know when
right.
that's ready.
Yeah, I got you.
Bye.
All right, ladies. Bye bye.
All
thanks.
right,
Bye.
take care. All right, so Lady E, we'll let you go ahead.
So I'm not gonna go all the way into my background because it's depressing. But I was I was abused as a child. So I don't agree with spanking. I think I spanked my daughter one time when she was younger, and just like Montana said, I cried. I cried, and I like couldn't ever do it again. So with me, I speak, I talk to my kids, and sometimes I yell, or sometimes I'm like, but I'm very honest, and like I'm a realist. So if they do something that's like oblivious to the world around them, if they like put themselves in danger or something, and I have to get on them for it, or if they do something, I explain to them, like I talk to them and explain why these rules are set in place for them, or I just have like a basic conversation with them. And now, they don't fear me. They know that they can come to me and talk to me about anything, and I'd rather have that than them fearing me, because I could never go to my parents and say, hey, this is going on, or like, what should I do about this, or
Right.
open up to them about anything, because I'm like, well, if I say something about whatever is going on, like I'm gonna be the one getting in trouble, or I'm gonna get beat, or I'm gonna get spanked, or whatever the case. So it's like, I don't want that for my kids. So I feel like, I mean, every child is different. Every child learns differently. But for me, I think spanking just makes kids, you know, fear adults or fear their parents. And they're not going to be as willing to open up to what is going on in their lives if they can't like express themselves, or without getting in trouble or whatever. Because my kids will come up to me and be like, Mom, don't be mad. But and I'm like, okay, like I have to prepare myself.
Prepare
Okay,
yourself. I was gonna
I
say.
won't get mad. I promise I won't get mad. Just tell me whatever it is and we'll deal with it. We'll take care of it. And that's how it always goes. So,
Yes.
and we're
So
very, very close.
Eddie wants to know, is your approach gender specific?
For me, no. It's it's both my son and my daughter. They both are. I treat them both the same. My son's the baby. He's younger, so I kind of baby him a little bit more than my daughter because she's older. And I'm like, look, you're 13. You've been around me for 13 years. You should know what I want. You should know what I like. Like, so there's no excuses. But yeah, it's not gender specific. No.
I think it's personality specific. Like if
Right.
you
Yeah.
respond to me talking to you and you want to open up, you want to talk to me and really be real, then yes, I'm gonna actually open up to you. But if you're gonna be like over there on your iPad and pretend like I'm not trying to open up to you and I'm not helping you, like I'm not your best friend, then
Right. Yeah.
I
Well, I
mean,
think
I'm here to help.
yeah, and it's also like with punishment. Um, so I can take my son's tablet or phone or whatever away from him, and that's like the worst thing in the world. And he's gonna do whatever it is he needs to do to get that back. And it's just the same with my daughter. Like if she doesn't do what she's supposed to do, she can't have a friend over. Like it's specific things to each child. Like I think taking away something that they really love, I think that does wonders for a child.
I mean, I don't think it even takes long. I would say I take it away for 10 minutes and she's distraught.
Exactly.
And then I feel bad and I'm like, okay, here you go. You can have it back.
Or like no dessert that night. They're like, oh my God. Like
It's the worst. You're the worst parent of the planet. How could you do that? Then I'm like sneaking
I know. I'm
ice
like,
cream upstairs.
So Eddie has a follow-up question. He says, "How do you know that they know? Wait, how do you know that they know without being authoritative?"
You just look at them.
right. I can look at my kids and be like, or I'll just be like, and I'll be like,
You
is there
point to it.
something wrong with this picture here? Is something going on? And they'll be like, oh, sorry, I forgot to pick up my clothes. or whatever, and they'll be like, I'll get right on that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Your son's in the background thinking he's saying no. That was epic. He said no, no.
Sneak
So
attack.
Eddie said, I'm a male, by the way. I think we figured that just because names are kind of gender specific, not all, but most. So we assumed that you were male. And then George says, don't feel that way. They need to be held accountable for what they did, he feels like.
Don't feel
And
what way.
and then Aaron says, Eddie is equating violence with
Yeah.
authority, not the same.
They know we have the power. We don't have to hit them to prove that.
Right.
Right,
Right.
exactly. We have
You
the
have
So when
power
it
for
Right.
so when it comes to lying with my kids, the one thing that I always told them was that you can come to me with anything that you ever did wrong. And if you come to me and tell me what you did wrong, then not that you're not going to be punished for what occurred, but it's going to be a lesser punishment because you opened up to me
Right.
and told me what you were doing. And that you trust. I guess Alexa thought I was talking to her. Forgive me, but that's how I did it. So if you tell me the truth, it's still a punishment, but it's a lesser punishment. It's not going to be as severe as if you lied and I caught you.
Right.
Mm.
You're less in trouble if you tell me the truth. You're going to be in
Right.
more trouble if you pretend like you didn't do it. Then
right.
you're in a lot more trouble.
Yeah.
And with my son, somebody mute their phone. So somebody turn their ringer off.
Oh,
So
that's
That's not me. Mine's
no.
it's it's on my laptop.
Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, you can't. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So close your Facebook page then, and then it won't ding if you
It's
close your
messenger.
Facebook page.
It's the guys. It's the
Yeah,
guys.
guys,
That
stop messaging while we're on here.
sending
We're trying
pics
to
and
do a
stuff.
podcast here.
no, it's the podcast guys.
I know. I'm just,
Oh.
I
No,
know.
mine I was like, oh guys, stop sending pictures.
Oh no.
So did everybody get to speak on this about the discipline and how they feel and
But also, yeah, my kids, I'll come home from work and one of them, they like to tattle on each other. So one of them's like, "Oh, do you want to tell her first before I tell her, so you don't get in as in much trouble as you would?" And then they're like, "Okay, I'll tell you." And then that happens. But
As they creep around your background.
I'm like,
George? What are you talking about?
That's why I'm out here. That's why I'm out here.
George, what are you talking about? You are participating. We're showing everything. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Tell me.
no.
But we look, look, discipline in action right now. Let's tune in for this live broadcast. This
Live
live
stream.
live stream. We can't get any more live than this. Um, but I'll always say that it absolutely. You said sister. Oh yeah, this delay is killing you, George. This delay is killing you. That was like 20 hours ago. Keep up. Keep up. He, look, he wants to be live
No.
one night.
Okay. Come on. Come
You
on.
know why? You were on the last podcast commenting. You're on this podcast commenting. That's what we want. So when you do those things like that, we definitely recognize who's doing that and invite. So
The more you comment, the more we are gonna want you on our show. So
because you're giving us some feedback here.
right.
So, whoop them, lady. This coming from Aaron, who doesn't want anybody whooping anybody.
I think he's talking about my kids
Yeah,
distracting.
no, he is. But if you go back to his comments on our poll, he's
Right.
against spanking. So what you talking about? Whoop him. What you talking
It's
about? Whoop 'em?
selective with them, isn't it?
Yeah, like just like us, it's selective with us. I do feel like my younger one is a little more in line with me. One, because of his personality, but also two, he saw me whoop the middle one's behind. He
That's what
saw
I'm
those
saying.
whoopings and
Yes.
was like, "Yeah, I don't want none of that.
I'm all
None of that.
set. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
I'm gonna
all
let
set.
my brother handle all of that and hold all of that for me. Like, you take it all." And here's the thing about my middle one, right? My middle one, if any of you ladies met him, and Miss Spitter, you know him, he is so charismatic.
Oh,
He will
I
come to
love that kid.
your house. Yes, go
I
ahead.
love him, but I'm so glad that it's your job to kick his ass because it seems like a big job. But I do.
Yeah. It's a huge job. He would go to your house if you cooked him dinner. He would do the dishes. He has his home training. He would clean up. He would take the
Mhm.
trash out. He would do everything. And then I come to you and tell you some of the stories he did. You'd be like, "No, never him. He's such a good kid." Like, even his therapist, I think I went through like 7 of them because none of them believed me. Like, they thought I was the crazy one. Now, I may be a little crazy, but
Wow, you know.
I was not all that crazy. So Aaron asked, "Are you all from New York?"
Knock.
I am.
New
I
York.
am.
Nope.
New
I'm
Jersey.
from Florida.
No, I'm
Tampa.
Jersey. I'm New York. I'm New York.
You are New York?
I was born in Saratoga Springs. It's right outside of
Yes.
Albany. That's where I'm
Yes.
from.
Oh, so we're all East Coast. Where are you from, Aaron? Let us know where you're from.
So, I think
George
that's why
said
we all get along.
He
he's
is a
a
big
big.
mofo.
My son is 6'2", 265 pounds, and
Yeah.
I still make this boy bow his head to me. There was one day, I kid you not, he said something crazy out of his. My sister was here with me one day. He said something crazy out of his mouth, and I went and I started getting on him like, "What are you?" Da, 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 da. And he rolled his shoulders like that to stand tall, and I said, "Are you posturing?
Are you serious?
Are you posturing?" Yo, he dropped his shoulders so fast, put his head down. My sister came running out of the room and was like, "What? Like, what we gotta do?" but even with as big as he is, there is a level of respect for his mama. Oh,
That's
that's
not
not.
new. That's fantastic. That's a good point. So everyone has this misconception that anyone who's from New York lives in the city. I grew up in the country, obviously.
And people
Bashan?
people when they hear New York, they always think about the city and they don't
New
know
York
that there's
City.
even a country or like the country area. They're like,
I
no,
yeah.
it's a city. It's just a huge
Not that big, and it's real Hickville. I'm sorry. I lived in fuck New York. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But
Listen, New York is New York. There's New York City and then there's New York, but you're still from New York because listen, if you go up to Rochester, New York, it's worse than New York City.
oh.
Like,
I've
Rochester, New York
never
is
been
way
to New York.
worse than New York City. Absolutely. But
I
we
lived there.
digress. Oh, so then you know what I'm talking about,
Digress.
sis. Yeah, we digress. We
I
digress.
digress. I was born in Syracuse, which is right outside of Rochester and Buffalo, like right around that area. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
Rochester and Buffalo, sis, are not.
there's a lot of murders up there.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's worse than New York City. People think I'm more scared of somebody who says I'm from Rochester. I'm like, I'm just from the Bronx. I'm just from the little bitty Bronx. That's it.
There's actually
You ain't
more
gotta
murders
come at me
here.
like that.
There's more murders here than there is in New York State.
Really?
Yes,
See, that's crazy. That's
that's a
just crazy
fact.
to me.
That's just a fact. If you're just wondering.
Well,
So, hold on.
Eddie says he's from Boston. Aaron says Boston with an accent.
Boston. Boston.
Cornell says nah.
Because
And he
he's trying to,
says,
he's trying to counter trick. Yeah, he's whatever.
and George says great party colleges though. Yep. Sure. Maybe that's why my daughter wants to go to New York for college.
Yeah. That's it. But with this whole COVID stuff happening, we don't even know what's going on at this point.
I know. That's crazy.
Taking some
All right.
online classes.
That's what we're doing.
So this kind of transitions us into, right? So we've talked about gender roles and raising boys and girls a little bit differently, and we kind of moved up to disciplining our children, and we're kind of now segueing into our adult children, right? Because two of us on this panel have adult children, and we kind of spoke about it a little bit. And I guess I want to know, can you be friends with your adult children? And do you continue to parent them or do you let them fly? And I'm going to let you go first, Miss Spitter.
Okay. I'm waiting for your answer because my daughter's been 18 since May, and it is uncharted territory. She has moved out twice already. She's living on one of her friends' couches. She just stopped by today to like do some paperwork and eat some food and stuff. But like, as soon as she turned 18, she was like, "All right, I'm gonna do whatever I want." I'm like, "No, I don't know. When I turned 18, I lived with my aunt and my uncle. I wasn't with my parents. It was weird, and I really don't know. Like, I ask people that have kids that age. I get like people laughing at me, people telling me good luck. They tell me it does not end at 18. People tell me to pray a lot. I, I need tips. I have no answer. I have questions.
I hate those responses, by the way, when they say, "Oh, it doesn't get any easier." It's like, can you
Thanks.
stop? Can
Or
you just
good
stop?
luck. Like good luck. Oh, what does that
Negativity,
supposed to mean?
right?
Like your child's not my child, so I mean,
Right, exactly. Like, just don't tell me like what. Oh, good luck. Have fun with that. Like, okay.
yeah,
Thanks for the tips, bro.
right. That
So
was
King Clip says, absolutely, they're grown. All you can do at this point is offer advice.
Mhm.
And Keisha says, that's my sister, that's how I know that's how you pronounce that. We LOL and joke, but I will still punch them in their face if they get beside themselves. Keisha, I saw you. You accepted the terms. Thank you for accepting the terms this time. And she will punch them in their face. This is the same one that did the, remember in the
Savvy,
last
savvy.
episode?
With the fork.
Yeah, yeah, that's her. That's her. So she will punch you in your face. You don't parent them. You give them guidance and try to help them and help them if they need. We got some more,
What
so
if
I'm gonna
they're
let
in
you
your
take it.
house? Isn't there rules if they still live with you?
There's
So
rules to your house, like your house rules.
yes, yes, and I'm gonna speak on that since I have the adult children. I'm gonna get through these comments real quick. Lady E, you wanna grab that?
Stephanie says, yes, you can be friends and also parent. My mom has been one of my best friends since the age of 15. That's awesome. That's very
Very
good.
sweet.
Aaron says, I just did Hilton Head for 2 weeks with my 17-year-old
Nice.
and 23. A blast. I don't know what Hilton Head is, but
Oh
the
wait,
fourth
sorry, we're skipping
day,
that. One person, no, we're skipping that.
Don says, I believe you can give them guidance. It's up to them to listen. Be there for them to learn to lean on when they make the wrong decision. Yeah, absolutely, George says.
Yes, we're still live right now. We're still
Facebook
live.
user, we still live right now. I
You are
like
late to the party, but it's better to be late than not show up at all, right?
exactly. Make
All
sure
right.
you accept StreamYard. Go to the top so we can see who's commenting, and we can see your face, and we can interact with you a lot better, so we know who we're talking to.
So my take on this, being that I have a 26-year-old and a 19-year-old, I believe that you can be friends with your adult children. And I think based on their individual personalities will be based on whether you're continuing to parent or let them fly. And I'll explain why into details. So my daughter is 26. She is married, has two kids, has 2 degrees, graduated summa cum laude with both her degrees. Okay. So she is, yes, I'm bigging up my daughter. And you know what? I pat
She's
myself on the
awesome.
back for that. I pat myself on the back for that too, because, you know, when you have good support and a good role model, you continue that. But in any case, I'm bigging myself up. It's all good. But in any case, I would say with her that it maybe about 24, 25 is when I really started to have a friendship with her. Like a really good friendship. Like I
That's
can
long.
chop it up. Yeah, like 24, 25. I was, not that we weren't friends, but I mean the level of friendship that we're at now. Like I talk to my daughter every day. Literally every day I talk to my daughter. She knows the ins and out of my dating sagas right now. She knows, I mean, like she knows it all. She knows my stress from work. Like I really talk to her like a girlfriend. I respect her as my daughter. I don't think I set limits though, because I probably tell her way too much. But she's actually okay with it. And she responds back. And believe it or not, my daughter gives me some sound advice.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
She gives me some solid sound advice, and I have to take a step back and go, she's right. So, like, age doesn't determine the fact that you're more knowledgeable, right? It's experiences that can determine how knowledgeable that you are. So, I definitely do think that you can be friends. But with my son who's 19, and I don't know if it just has to do that he's waiting to come into his own. He's not responsible at all whatsoever. He's a good kid, but he's not responsible. So I feel like I still parent him. I still feel like I have to parent him because he's still making wrong decisions. Whereas my daughter has made all the right, in my eyes, in my view, what I deem is right, has made all the right decisions in her life. Whereas my son is still struggling to come into his own and to be a man. He, like your daughter, felt like, oh, I'm 18. I'm an adult. I could do whatever I want. I know right from wrong. I'm an adult now. Like automatically overnight, he took a pill and his 18th birthday happened and he knew all the things of the world. He knew it all. So right now I cannot be a friend to him. I have to still parent him. Whether he listens or doesn't listen, I know at the end of the day I planted the seed and I have to watch it grow. And I have to continue to give him that advice and the tools that I know he's going to need to be a productive member of society. Um, what he does with it is the only thing that I can't determine because he is of age.
Yeah.
So, do you want to get to some comments before we move on, or do you want to move on?
Let's get to
Comments?
some comments. Yes.
Go ahead, Lady E.
Facebook user says, I just turned 25 and my mom still is a mother to me, but we talk to each other as girlfriends. I always look to her for advice, vice versa.
Nice.
Who
That's
are you,
awesome.
Facebook user?
Yes. Who?
Cryptic.
Let us know.
George says,
Come.
comfortably. I don't
Yes.
know what that means. You still need to parent him. Yeah. Michael, hello, Michael. He says equality in a household is cool, but most homes the boys will be taking out the trash, and the girls maybe the dishes. Girls may be more interactive with parents as they grow, especially with mom. Okay, I can see that.
I don't agree with that.
So tell me. Let's go back to that. Tell me why.
No, I obviously my kids are too young, but I'm gonna give you from my perspective as being still, talking to my parents, whatever. I have never had a tighter relationship with my parents ever in my life than I do now. That I probably hit 26, and my father gave me a hug for the first time, and I felt like we're close, like my parents and I are close. So I think it takes a while for that to set in because you have this age of rebellion, which I think Lady and I both kind of have. Like we were like kind of raised the same, and you leave and you're done, you're all set, and
Yeah,
you never want to be like them. And
right.
then you hit an age and you kind of go, okay, I can kind of get why you're like that. I wish you weren't like that, but I can kind of get it.
Mhm.
Uh, So like I don't know. I feel like now I can talk to them and I can tell them exactly how I feel. So I don't want that for my kids, and I hope that I can keep them at a on a shorter leash. It's the wrong word. Uh, I can keep
But
them
I know what you
close.
mean.
I
Close,
can keep them
close to
close
the
to
vest.
me, and
Close
we
to
can be
yeah.
friends, and we can stay friends, and I'll continue to badger them.
How old is your daughter?
9,
You've
and
got.
she's
I know you don't like those answers, but there's this tricky period between 13 and 17 that gets really tricky. And if anybody, so
You tell
I
me
had to
that.
take psychology I had to take psychology for nursing, right? And there's the boys go through it too, their Oedipus stage, right? And then the girls actually go through, well, both children, both males and females go through this period where their family is not important to them anymore,
right.
that it's only about their friends and what's going on in their social life, and the parents are no longer important in their family, and you start to think like, why don't you care? I take care of you and I support you and I do all this for you. Why don't you respect me? Why don't you love me? And I'm not saying that every kid goes through it, but there is that phase. So it's that little tricky phase between 13 and 17 with the girls, when you start to see the attitude adjustment and a little bit of the changes in their attitude. So definitely, definitely put that foundation now so that she understands that you can still be a friend too. I'm your mother first, friend second.
Oh, totally mother first, friend second. But I don't like that her attitude is like mine, and it bothers me when she says like, "Well, why do I have to do that?" I'm like, "Because I told you to."
Right. No, my daughter's 13 now, and I am totally getting what Chrissy was just saying, because like it was like a light switch. Like as soon as she turned 13, it was like it was over. Like I got this attitude all the time. Like she knows more than I do. It's just ugh, it's
Yeah.
it's
She
so hard, so
she
hard.
said it. She said it yesterday. She was like, she showed me a video, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Can I see your iPad?" And she goes, "No." I'm like, "Give me your iPad."
I asked you for, so my kids, when I do that, my kids go, "So why did you ask me?" I said, "Because I gave you an option and you chose the wrong one."
Exactly. So I say it to PJ, and if he hands it to me, I go, "I don't really need to see it. I'm good," because obviously you're not hiding anything. But then I
Right.
look at her iPad, and she has all her messages like deleted, and all of her TikTok things. I made sure that her TikTok was private and her location was off. And I told her human trafficking is a real thing,
Right.
and there's dudes on Roblox, there's dudes on TikTok. Stop! Don't post anything on those things. Don't do it. And like she looks
Yeah.
at me like I'm like,
Like you're
come
a
on.
pain in the ass. I'm like,
Right.
no. Like,
I'm bothering
out.
you.
Yeah, I'm looking out for your well-being. Like,
I know.
When my daughter was
You poor
younger
kid.
and I used to check her phone, she got this idea, and I think she got it from your son, Chrissy. They would take old
Probably.
dead phones and hook up to the Wi-Fi and sign into
Yeah,
stuff
she got it
on
from my kid.
there.
She got it from my kid. She got it from
See,
my kid.
you can never control them. You just have to teach them the best you can. They will
Yep.
always get away
Exactly.
with what they want to get away with.
Exactly.
So here's
exactly.
the thing though, my son would always do sneaky things, right? And I
Mhm.
would always tell him, "You're not really good at this because I catch you every single time. You might want to stop and pick up a new profession." And the other
Yeah,
thing I tell him is like, "What did you think, that I came out of my mother's womb as an adult? Like
yeah,
I wasn't a child or a teenager before and I don't
Didn't
Yeah.
know everything you're doing?"
but didn't you feel that way? Didn't you feel that? Because
Yeah.
as a teenager, I felt like my parents were stupid. They had
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
no idea about
Yeah.
anything.
Yep. It's like, they don't know anything. She doesn't have a clue.
They
Meanwhile,
never,
but
they never went through what I went through. They never did. Like,
Mhm.
they didn't grow up like
Puberty.
my time. Like, they have no idea what it's like being a teenager at this
It's
time. Yeah,
and
they,
yeah.
it's really hard for them, right? They have iPads and phones. We didn't have phones.
Yeah, so they
I
have
know that.
access to all of
I
that.
mean, come on, guys, stop
I
it.
had a time limit. I had a time limit on the phone, and then the phone came off the hook, so nobody could call.
Yes, eight
Like
o'clock at
it
night.
was handset. Like we didn't even have the cordless. Like I'm old. I'm old. But we got some more comments. I think I'd respect our friendship more. At some point, the experience gets replicated, and and it in turn gets shared between the both of you, and you have the conversation that benefits both. Okay. He's 19. He needs to learn, and let's not forget, men take longer to mature. I did not want that to come out of my mouth, Mr. Lara. So I'm glad
You
you
said
said
it.
it and not
You said
me,
it.
because yeah, he said it, not me.
See, we're
David
trying to
says,
be here. We're
yeah,
trying to be.
see, we're good. No male bashing at all tonight. My mother is one of my best friends, and it took experiences, ups and downs in life. She got me always, even if it's something I don't want to hear. Same with my sister.
Oh, that's so good.
That's really cute.
Oh no, hold on. Sorry. I guess we can do this, and then I'll go back to what we lost. Go ahead, lady.
Don says definitely do phone checks. I found out my daughter was being threatened in sixth grade, all because she wouldn't date the boy. She started slicing. I would
Wow.
never found out without checking. Wow.
Yeah. So I think as parents, we do need to take that responsibility, and make sure that we are monitoring our children with this day and age, with cyberbullying and everything else that we got going on. We need to, and it's not about invading their privacy, but it's actually about ensuring their safety. So thank you
Right.
for that comment.
Absolutely.
Lady
Right.
E, you want to?
Michael says where a boy as he comes up may become more annoyed with parents and just want to game or do his own thing. That's true. Oh, it's Lex. Lady knows. Haha. Not sure why it shows up like that. Wait, is this Lex? Oh, I think I know
I don't
her.
know. Okay.
I think I know who. Okay. Someone told me how to
You
change
guys
your
gonna go over that again?
Yes, yes, Ron. We'll show you how to do that. Okay.
We'll revisit that one.
So yeah, go up to the top. I guess it's at the top, right? Facebook
It's at
user.
the top. If you go into Clockwatch, the page, the fan page, go into Clockwatch. Right in the announcement sections, this podcast is pinned, and in the little post up top where we give our little synopsis, a little bit underneath it, there's a link for the Streamyard acceptance, so that you can then show your name and face. So
Yes.
Michael says, but I do believe it's based solely on how they're raised in individual households. You could get this, lady.
And George says, because the menstrual cycle, obviously she's going through changes that should make y'all the crazy you will live until menopause.
Call us crazy one more time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get her. Tell her crazy.
For real. Are we crazy
One more
now?
time.
We're crazy now? Crazy? Dawn says, I could have lost her in the sixth grade. She will be graduating college this Wednesday. Oh, that's so awesome.
Congratulations, Dawn. Congratulations. And I'm so glad that you were proactive as a mother, and you took
Very, yeah.
charge and control of that.
Yes, and this is exactly why you need to be involved in your children's lives and know what they're
Absolutely.
doing, know their friends, go to their school, have lunch with them, meet their friends face to face, meet their teachers. This is what I do with my daughter, and all of her friends love me and they call me mom, and I bring them food because they love me.
I get that too.
So,
George, yes, you are a dumbass. We're speaking for you.
Stephanie says teens develop a personal anatomy through their
Autonomy.
friendships. Autonomy? Oh,
Mhm.
thanks. Through their friendships, which is why friends sometimes seem more important than family. Yep, that's true.
So George says, that's horrible. It's Ron. We know it's Ron. Ron's going to get fixed.
But also, so I have a question for you guys. Do any of you as parents show your kids like investigation discovery shows?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I do.
you
I
yeah.
show
do?
her Web of Lies, the shows that show about kids getting abducted, and I tell her, "This is why I don't let you do this. This is why I don't let you walk from here to there. This is why I watch you from the window and walk
Yeah.
you to like. This is why I do this because I don't want you. Do you want to get taken from me? No, then
I think I mean, I do. I've shown them movies and like shows or like little video clips of things happening, and I mean, yes, you could in fear and like put fear in their minds to like them not want to go outside or whatever. But for me, I feel like it just shows them like real life and like they have to be cautious of their surroundings at all moments because kids are like oblivious to all that's
Yes,
going around.
yes,
So
absolutely.
like
To
if
an
you're
extent.
gonna so my son when he was younger and we went to the grocery store or any kind of store, he would just wander off, like totally disappear. Even if I was like sitting there watching him, like 1 second he's there, 1 second he's gone. I've lost him in several stores, and I've had several heart attacks because of it.
Oh my god.
And I like as he got older, I'm like explaining to him like, look, you cannot do this, and now he's like right by my side all the time. But I was like, God,
Listen,
like
I never feared it because with my kids, I was like, they're just gonna bring your ass back to me anyway. They're gonna be like, "Ma'am, we're so sorry, we picked the wrong one. Here, you can have it back. I
I'm all set.
apologize." Yeah,
I said that
I
too.
never worried about it. It was like
They're
they're
gonna
just
kick
gonna
you
get it
back out of
back.
the van. Yes.
Yeah, but
But like with
definitely,
the human trafficking and stuff like that that's going
yeah, and
on,
it's real.
It's
It's
real.
absolutely real. It's a
Yeah.
real thing.
so crazy. And you see these videos of like kids just being grabbed and ran off with in like a
Yeah,
split second.
Yeah.
And it's like that can happen anywhere to anybody.
yeah.
Parking lot in a grocery
You
store.
always have to be on edge. You always have to like make sure, wherever you go.
So
I was
Ron says, "Oh my God, I'm lost. Be easier to rob a bank than change my name. Get some Facebook user forever." But I think this is Ron again. We're gonna get covered up. You got this, Lady E?
She's
yeah.
getting all of them.
I'm drinking. Leave me
I
alone.
get no, not
I mean, I'm
much.
too. Come on. It's okay.
I'm doing all the mechanics back here.
I'm just
All right, I got you. Says, how about the fear and respect? At the age of 23, I think that kids have an understanding of what they can say and ask in order to have that conversation. Boys will look to mom because dad has given them the fear. I asked my mom everything because I thought I couldn't ask pops. When I was bold enough to ask my pops, it opened up everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I never feared my dad. My dad was very masculine and machismo and everything, but I didn't fear him because I knew at the end of the day I was still his little girl. So I could always play that little tug of the heart.
How many you had?
So
Didn't you have 5 brothers? 4 brothers?
I have two brothers, four and three sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, just two brothers. Yeah, no, my girlfriend has four sons. Aaron, we're so far outside of what we were talking about. Whatever you said yes to, you agreed. We're great. We're happy about it.
Nice.
George says, "Can I please ask a favor of you ladies?" And that's gonna
Maybe.
cost you. That's gonna cost you $15 a minute.
Yeah.
So make sure you really want to
Venmo is
know.
on.
Yes.
Venmo, Cash App, we got you.
So, okay, Chris. I know this is strange to you, but after a traumatic experience in my life, I no longer go by George. My name is Jorge.
Jorge.
Jorge. I thought that too. I thought his name was pronounced Jorge.
Yeah,
It's
I
George.
thought that
It's
too.
George.
I did think that too, but
Okay.
No, I've known this kid since we were in diapers.
I'm
George.
just saying. I'm just saying. I saw it. I didn't. I just saw it.
sorry for the disrespect, okay? Didn't mean that. Don't stop watching our show.
We still love
No, he
you.
won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. He's gonna be here. I know he's got an eye for somebody on this panel.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I just blew you up. Now maybe he won't come.
Jorge. Jorge. All right, Jorge.
So, Ron, you can't go by Facebook user 2020 because we now know you're Ron. You can't copyright it. His sister was allowed everything. She could ask for everything to my pops, and he answered with open arms, LOL. So I feel that. Definitely. I feel like boys are closer to their moms and girls are closer to their dads. And like I said, like the boys go through the Oedipus stage, but that's, I think, like around the 5 to 7 mark. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't taken my course in a long time. So you may have to refresh me. Where at that point they're attached to mom. But after that, I mean, they go back to dad for a long time, I think up into their teen years, and then they go back to being mama's boys. But there is a stint where they just want daddy for a little while. The
What
one
age is that?
there's a little stint like between, I believe it's like between somewhere between Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say somewhere between 10 and 17 where they're
Oh,
kind of
ew.
like with their dad, like yeah, they want to because they're starting to learn how to be a man and imitate men. Like this is where they learn how to become a man, and then after that is when they kind of go back to being protectors of their mom. So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I got the ages right, but I know it's a
Ugh,
um. So Aaron, I don't know what those pictures are. They look like justice scales.
I
We
don't have
can't see them
my
here. I'm
I
sorry.
don't have my glasses on. I can't see
Oh,
any of these comments.
Oh,
yeah.
George has been thinking about relocating to which
Oh,
state,
really?
George?
Where are we
Which
going, George?
state?
Jorge.
Jorge.
I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com/Facebook. There you go, Facebook user 2020. You got it. And I've taken a lot to my father now. I ask and talk to him about everything, but when I was 20 is when I started asking for him things. Whore, hey.
Jorge. Jorge.
Jorge.
I tried to do the sign up thing that I just ordered phone books from every state. George hates the winter.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, so do I.
Mm. So this next one is gonna cover us all up again. So do
Oh,
you want me to take this?
Alex.
Do you want
Okay.
me to take it or you got it? You got this?
Do you want me to read it without putting it up there, or do you want? Okay, we're putting it up there.
Yeah.
All right.
You go.
This is my girl in Nebraska. Love you. Thank you for commenting and watching. She says, my pops and I never had a problem. I am a daddy's girl. Mom, however, we had that period where we had so many fights from 14 to 18. Sometimes in my early 20s, we would have fights about my relationship choices. So I never understood why my mom was the way that she was until I dated someone similar to who she dated in her 20s. Both men were verbally abusive and controlling and protecting or projected things into us. I never understood her warning signs until I went through them myself. It sounds morbid, but uh,
She must be still typing. We'll
but
wait to get the rest of
There
it.
it is.
Yeah, she's got to still be typing.
okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you
Next,
for that.
yes,
That's
we
about the age,
appreciate
though.
it.
That's about the age that I
I mean,
rebelled.
right. You don't get winter, Lady. Um,
It gets to
actually,
55 degrees out there.
so okay, in Florida, no, we don't really get winter. We get winter like maybe 2 months of the year, and it gets like to like 60s or whatever. But I did live in other states other than Florida, and I did experience winter, and it was awful, and I would never want to experience it ever again. So I am so glad I'm in Florida now.
There you go. I'm telling you. So,
Mhm.
do you guys think, being that your children are still young, Lady E in Montana, how
Mhm.
do you envision what your relationship will be like when they become adults?
Hmm, that's a good question.
Go ahead.
Because I mean, we're my kids and I are very close now, and I am hoping that doesn't change. later on in the future as they get older, but I cannot. There's no guarantee, and all I can do is be there for them and continue to show them that I love them and support them with whatever they decide to do, and try to guide them through their years. I just I always give them advice on things, and for the most part, they listen, or if they don't listen, they always come back and say, you know what, mom, you were right about whatever it was, and they're very open and honest with me, and they love hearing like my advice on things. So I think I think as they get older, I think we're gonna be very, very close. I don't know, like somebody said something that to me the other day about, going out to a club with your daughter or going to a club with your son when they're older and come of age. But I'm like, that's a little weird for me. I don't know if I would go out to like a club because I'm gonna be way too old to be going to a club, but
Girl,
maybe
please. What you trying to say?
The
I mean I don't
last
go
time I
to
went to a club before coronavirus was with Chrissy and her daughter, and we had a blast. And we drank
Yep.
Coronas all night.
And we was getting free drinks all night. Like, oh, yes, we were.
I
Me,
mean
But
I
I
my
don't
felt
know.
the
daughter,
same
and
way
my
when my
daughter.
daughter was younger. I never thought that I'd be able to like even really drink in front of her like that. But we've had like a couple drinks together here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
It's
mean
just
I don't
once
know.
they
I
grow
mean
up, it's different.
I don't mind having drinks with my kids as they get older, like when they're older and come of age or whatever. That's fine. But like
Now we were straight in the club. We were
going
straight in the club. Like,
to club, I don't even.
yep, straight in.
No,
Then we went from one bar to the next bar and was like, yep.
no, I could go to a bar with them, but a club, like a dance club, where it's like, because dance clubs in Florida are way different. Like they're just out there. So
Yeah.
I could probably go to a bar or like some relaxing spot or whatever that has like a little bit of dance floor to it, but like not like a full on like dance club. I can't.
Twerking.
But hopefully, when they get older, I am connected with them, and I'm still friends, hopefully, because I was not that way when I was a kid. So
Well, so I'm gonna go to Ron real quick. He said, "I don't know about that. I couldn't go to a club with my kids. I'd rather chill at the house." So, what is it about the club that makes you have a negative connotation to being with your children in that kind of environment? Like, what? I mean, I don't go to crappy clubs. Like, we don't go to like they're
I
not like hell holes. There's not holes in the wall. Like these are like it's not a dive bar. Like, so let me know what
think
you mean.
maybe I think it's because
It's just
maybe
not
that
him.
where like when we were going out to clubs when we were like 18 through 25, 26, whatever, like we knew what was going on in those clubs and we knew what was happening. We know what we did in those clubs, and what happened afterwards. And it's like I don't want I don't even want my daughter or my son in that environment to begin with, which I know that they're going to be doing that because that's what kids their age do. Of course, I understand that. But
Yeah, I guess we're talking about different kind of clubs then
if I
because
see it, no, I'm talking about like a dance. Well, I went to like dance clubs,
well,
but
that's not yeah, but that's not how it is. Like where we went, it wasn't like that. It wasn't seedy. There wasn't drugs being done. It wasn't a rave. It was a night they were having hookah, they had music, they like it wasn't like
okay, because the clubs in Tampa are a little bit different.
okay. Then maybe like I wouldn't want my kid in that environment. So
Right.
that's why so I wouldn't bring them to something like that. But where we went, I guess it was more of like a lot like they had the dance floor, they had the music, they had the drinks. Then the second one we went to was more of a bar kind of setting situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the second but it was still a dance floor and it was still we went to a comedy club first, and enjoyed it. So yeah, it was more of like a lounge. It wasn't like a booty pop you're shaking, half naked chick,
Yeah.
boobs sticking
Oh,
up.
Like,
Like,
would you grind in front of her?
no,
okay.
I would not grind in front of her.
See,
There are
that,
limits. Yeah.
that's different. That's what I'm thinking about when I think about clubs. And we went back in our day, like, when I was going out, that's the kind of clubs I was going to in Tampa, like the booty popping and the naked people and the drugs and all that stuff. I don't want my kids anywhere near that. And I don't want to be like, okay, yeah, let's go to this club and then introduce her to all this stuff that, I could have totally avoided. Like, let's go to this, upper, higher class club or whatever, more sophisticated thing. See, Florida clubs get it in. Yeah, I don't I don't want my kids near those clubs.
So Stephanie says, when I think of clubs, I think of guys grinding on my ass and people having sex in the corner. I'm not letting my mama see that. Yeah, no, it's not like that, Steph. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, Ybor City. That is exactly why. That's all those memories are coming back right now.
All the memories are flooding back in.
Yes, I'm like, nope, keep my kids away from that place.
No. Now this Ron, I'd never go to a club with my daughter because I know how guys think, and if they get within 6 feet of her, I'm going to jail. So
Yeah,
let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you a follow up question to that, Ron. So you wouldn't go to the club with your daughter because you know how men are, but would you go to the club with your son?
Ooh.
hmm,
That's
I'm
good.
just asking. I'm
that's a
just
good
asking.
question.
Because that goes back to, again, right, being, let's think of fathers with daughters, right? So I'm talking about a mother-daughter relationship, how we connect and we're really good friends. My son is still having the issues of maturity, but what about you fathers out there, father-daughter adult relationships? Like, what does that look like? you know Let me know what you think about that. Like, fill me in. George says, if my daughter is in her mid 20s and there is some good reading to be, and there's, I guess, some good reason to be in a club with my daughter, and I see them twerking, I will drop kick that little itch right on the dance floor because she knows better. So he said, see, I practice social distancing. LOL.
See, I think
And it
it's
says,
like if a mother and a daughter goes out versus um, a father and a son going out, or a father and a daughter. It's like you can, like, a mother and
Yeah.
daughter can go out and a father and son can go out, but it's like completely different. It's like,
can I tell you that for my 21st birthday, what I did with my dad was tequila shots at the bar? So real quick, no, because my boys are out of control, I'll still end up in jail. So I get you, I hear you. Now, my dad um, had a substance abuse problem when I was younger. And, thankfully, he's been something like 39 years clean. So he's been clean for a very long time. But he doesn't even touch alcohol because he doesn't touch cigarettes. He doesn't touch alcohol. He doesn't touch any of that because he knows he has an addictive behavior. So he remains free of all those things. But for my 21st birthday, he absolutely drank and went shot for shot with me with tequila. My boyfriend at the time had to drive my dad's car because my dad was so fucked up. Okay. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, drunk off my ass too. My boyfriend's the only sober one. We pull up to the house and my father gets out, rolls out of the car and pukes all over the place, right? He pukes
oh my god,
everywhere. That was his first and last experience with tequila.
Oh my.
That's all it takes.
I
And
love
he was like,
tequila.
nope.
I'm bringing tonight
There you
tequila.
go. So for
Tequila.
me, I
Hey.
have, up until recently when we had our little, my dad and I had our outs right now, and he's not talking to me, but whatever. Um, we were still close. Like, my dad knew my business. Like, I would still talk to him and stuff like that. I remember the first time I got married, and he walked me down the aisle, and we had the father daughter dance. And I remember everybody saying to my dad, "Don't cry when you have the father daughter dance. Like, you can't cry." My dad was like, "Man, what are you talking about? I've been gave her away a long time ago." Like he was like, I ain't gonna cry. You know how old I was older? I was almost 30 at the point, I guess. He was like, man, I'm not gonna. Oh no, I was older. I was like 30 something, whatever. Anyway, he was like, man, I'm not gonna cry, whatever. Da, da, da. We got on the dance floor, and as soon as the music started, my man, waterworks, booing, and I'm holding it together. Like, would you stop because you're gonna fuck my makeup up? Would you stop? Like, would you stop? And now because he's crying, my brothers start crying. And
Aw.
the men
It's
in
really
my
cute.
family, yeah, but the men in my family don't show emotion like that. They
Right.
hold it very close to their chest.
Yes.
So to see that was something. So I'm waiting for you guys to let us know about daughter father relationships. I did have Aaron ask us though, a gay son. I don't know, gay, straight, bi, fluid, binary, whatever it is, transgender, whatever they fall under. Would you do that? And Keisha says, we would go with your father, meaning our father, because apparently, because she's obviously my sister. We would go with your father, and he would tell us not to say we were his kids. Oh my God, yes! My dad used to do that. I know we're like so far off topic, but we just kind of landed here. So we're just gonna go here. Because I'm gonna write a book. Who said holy potty mouth? Whatever. I'm from New York. Right? So,
Look, we can say what we want, okay? This is our podcast. We are ladies and have potty mouths like sailors.
that's right. Double X, double
Fuck
X.
you.
Um, so my dad, we lived in the Bronx, and Orchard Beach was the beach that we would go to. We called it something else, but I won't say it since I've been called potty mouth. We called it something else. But I'll never forget we were at the beach with my dad, and he was checking out these because my dad and my mom split up when I was younger. So he's checking out these ladies and he's trying to flirt with them, even though we're there and we can't say we're his daughter. So me and my sister look at each other and we go, "You ready?" And we were like, "Yeah, we ready." We run out and was like, Daddy, mommy's in the bathroom giving birth. And these women were like, what? And walked away. And like, that was it. They couldn't deal with it. So, how my dad got me back was one day we were walking across the street and there was these cute guys in the car. And they were checking me out and I was checking them out. And my father caught on. So he grabbed me by the arm and he was like, yo, what you looking at them niggas for? What you doing looking at them? You know you my woman. So like he's acting out, and I'm like, so we would do
Oh
this
my
to each
god.
other like all the time. We would cock block each other all the time. Like it was just we. So my family's a little crazy,
Mm-hmm.
if you can't tell. But we digress, and I'm gonna go back to the comments so we can get off of this. But me and my daughter butt heads because she's so much like me. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stephanie says, I'm sure if my dad was still with us, I'd have a great drinking buddy. He passed away too soon. Sending
Aw.
loves and
Oh.
hugs and peace and comfort, Stephanie. Uh, George, I don't know what you mean. Oh, because of the potty mouth? Yeah, okay. Yes, it was called Chocha Beach. My sister said, shit, we would go with him to abuela. We would go with him and abuela. My abuela, my grandmother would be in the beach in a two-piece at like 78 years old.
I love
No,
it.
no joke. Like y'all would have a blast.
That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me when I'm 70.
What's
Well,
cringing? What are you cringing about, Mister?
he's
And
always cringing. That's his look nowadays, you know?
our Facebook user says cock blockers should get life in prison. My daddy should for doing that to me. You damn straight. You damn straight. But it was fun, like I think I like to think that I have a very progressive family. We're very open with each other and we say what we mean and we mean what we say. And I think that's the way it should be. But before we say goodbye, does anybody else have anything to add to any of this as we digress through this entire last segment?
I think
What?
Cornell's giving us the
What?
finger, but
Yeah, what's
Oh,
that? Maybe he's not talking about me. Maybe he's telling the guy that told us potty mouth. I don't know. That's how I'm gonna take it. That's how I'm gonna take it. All right.
maybe he's
All
talking
right.
about my comment, but whatever.
All right. So we'll start saying our goodbyes, and we will start off with Miss Spitter. You there? You there, Miss Spitter? Are you watching? Can you hear
sorry.
us? She's like, I had about one too many wine glasses.
Too much tequila. Or
Well,
not
I
enough.
skipped dinner and went right to drinks. So
before you go, we'll say one thing from because, like I said, George's family. That was a bonding moment, as crazy as it may be. You have with pops, yes, yes,
Right.
definitely. So, Miss Spitter, all to you.
um, thanks again for having me on back again this week. I had a great time. Maybe even better than last week, if that's possible. Thanks for everybody for your comments. There were so many good comments tonight. So many people talking back and giving us tips and jokes, and it was fun. um, Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Clock Watch, regular podcast, right?
Yeah.
And subscribe, like, go to the YouTube channel. Stay on the page because all of us are posting all the time. There's always something to talk about.
Right.
Literally
Who you
always.
sending it
Have a good
to?
night.
Who you sending it to? Who you sending it to, Jack? Miss Spitter? Yes, this screen doesn't work like that. We go opposite.
Right? Isn't it opposite?
Yeah, it goes. I don't know.
What am I saying? What am I doing right now?
We're saying goodbye.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I didn't get to answer the last question, but I'll go ahead.
Oh, wait a
Oh my
minute. What are you talking about?
Listen, I'm so ignored right now and triggered. So
No, didn't you? Didn't you?
no.
Because you talked about your relationship with your father.
What was the last question again?
You see how much you've been drinking. The last
I'm
question
not.
was, can we
I'm
be
not.
friends with our adult
It's
children?
It's water. It's water. It's aqua.
Oh,
Can
that's
you
right.
be?
She
Can you be? She did because she was talking about. No, we're not. No, we're not.
never
No,
got
we're
to
not. No, we're not. You don't even see that. You don't even know what this could
Joe,
be.
you don't want to know what drunk really looks like with us, okay? Because we won't. This would not be facilitated at all. Like you just be having to call 911 in each one of our districts. Like,
Ham. Going ham.
but
So-
it was about being the having a relationship with your adult children, and you were talking
oh
about your
yeah.
relationship with your dad.
No, you said no. Time out. Back up. You said
No.
to Jackie and I, what do you, in your future? What do you
Oh,
think it's going to be
that
like?
one. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there it
You know
is.
what? We're here for a couple of more minutes, people.
That's it. That's all I got. I hope that I can be best friends with my daughter, and my son dependently needs me. So that's it. That's all I had to throw in there. That I hope that my kids love me and they want my opinions and they trust my advice and know that my best interest is them. That's it.
Awesome.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah. Oh, you want to see? Yeah. He says, "Is that tequila in that clear glass of ice?"
This
Or maybe there's or yours. Yeah.
that's
I mean,
seltzer.
we're all
so
drinking.
That's
so
nasty.
from a mother of an adult girl, adult woman, I will
Mhm.
tell you that there will be bumps in the road, and maybe there won't, but usually there is, and that hump passes. You can't stay going up for too long. Eventually, things got to come back down. What goes up must come down,
Don't
right?
they? Don't they all?
So absolutely hang on for the ride. Know that there's a clear path at the end of it.
Can't
All
wait.
right.
Got it.
So
That's
you
it.
got it. Do you want to
Got
say
it.
goodbye? Say goodbye.
Oh, bye. I love you. Love you guys. Thanks for coming in. I'm good. I'm so tired.
All right, over to you, Lady E.
So I want to thank everybody on the panel tonight for joining us because you guys help us make this show amazing. And I'm so lucky to have all of you guys here. And I want to thank all of our viewers tonight and everybody who commented, and I really appreciate that. And I, you know, and in our Facebook group where Chrissy was posting the polls, everybody was commenting on those and participating, which is really great. That just shows you guys what we're going to be talking about that night. So make sure if you give your feedback on if you give your feedback on the polls, we want to see your comments in our podcast. So we want you to be interactive with that. And yeah, I really appreciate all the love and support that we are getting. If you really like our podcast, you really like our group, make sure you invite our friends, your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, invite all your friends, share, go to our YouTube channel. We are going to have a podcast tomorrow night with the guys and the ladies, 9 p.m. So make sure you tune into that. Should be an interesting one. So yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Chrissy now.
So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for commenting, being a part of this. You know, you are an intricate part to what goes on here. It would just be four ladies talking and not having any interaction, although that would probably go well anyway too. But in any case, no, we definitely need you guys here. We need your support. Make sure that you're keeping track of the fan page. Make sure that you like our brand page. We need those numbers to go up as well. Make sure you go to YouTube, like, and subscribe to our channel so that you can also get announcements of what's going on, when it's happening, where it's happening. Um, Invite your friends, share. You can always take our podcast and share it on your page so
Right.
that your friends can watch us too. And then, make sure that you invite them. Make sure that you tell them to invite their friends as well, because we need the support. We're all here to support each other. Also, I am more than welcome to you guys coming in my inbox and letting us know what kind of subjects, topics that you would like for us to cover, things that cross your mind, some things about women that you may be curious about that we can answer for you. And if you're interested on being, a guest spot on the podcast, we definitely appreciate that. So, with that said, have a great night. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing so that we can keep doing what we're doing. All right. One love.
Bye, guys.